What's up, everybody? David Bustle with Agency Armory here, and as you may know, we are about to launch a brand new snapshot to the Agency Armory library. It's called Anara, and this is our local business snapshot, and we are super excited to finally get this out there. We've been working on it for a really long time. We've been using a lot of the elements in our client businesses, and I think it's going to bring a lot of value to you guys to work in your client businesses as well. Now, up until now, we've been pretty cryptic about it as to what it actually is. Well, I'm excited to announce that we are officially in pre-launch mode, and details and the demo are inbound. We are actually going to be launching this thing in just a few days. But before we actually launch our demo video, I put together a little training video series that supplements the release of Anara and really shows you the power and also the purpose behind what we're doing with this snapshot. It drops a lot of value nuggets that we have learned at our agency over the years. It's helped us weather a lot of storms that we came across with competition and things like that. And so it's got a lot of really powerful lessons in this video series that I want to pass on to you in your agency. There's a lot of stuff going on in the market right now, and a lot of the big dogs are already adapting and preparing for it, and I want you guys to be prepared and adapt as well. So over the next couple of days, we're going to be releasing these videos one by one, leading up to the launch of Anara in the demo video there. So stay tuned to this group right here. We've got these videos coming out, starting with today's video that we call the Agency Cycle of Death and Rebirth. So without further ado, let's dive in and get started. In the agency world, change happens all the friggin' time. I call this the Agency Cycle of Death and Rebirth. You know, when you go out there, what you initially start selling is going to change over time. And, what you started selling in the beginning stages of your agency, a year or 2 years from now is going to change. How you sell it is also going to change over time. And this happens because as you go in your business, you're going to get some new skills. You're going to learn some new methods. New technology is going to come out that literally changes everything. Your clients' needs and wants change. You know, what you initially sold them, they're going to become, they might become happy with, and then all of a sudden they want you to do some kind of other service that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone. Clients can also become bored with what you offer. This happened to our agency. We were running the same direct mail piece and getting results, but clients just over time, it becomes kind of mundane to them. So they want to try something new. Old methods stop working, right? But one of the biggest ones on here is competition. And competition wants your customers. And so you're going to be in this constant battle for the same eyeballs and sales as your competitors. So I put together this infographic. This is the Agency Cycle of Death and Rebirth. It's this whole thing that we would see in our market for our agency, and we learned a lot from it about how to weather a lot of storms. So I want to pass this knowledge on to you. And so the Agency Cycle of Death is this constant cycle that we agency owners are going through. And it first starts with what I call the rebirth. This is where you've got a new idea, a new strategy, a new concept of some kind that comes out onto the marketplace. Maybe this is a new X factor, a new mechanism. For a lot of agencies out there, this was SaaS, right? And when it first comes onto the scene, not a ton of people are making a lot of money with it because there's only a little bit of early adoption, and it's pretty hard to replicate. You got to go out there and start figuring it out for yourself. When SaaS first launched for our little community here, there's only a couple of people doing it, right? Well, as it starts to go, people start developing some new tools and so forth, and that new idea starts getting some adoption and some traction and sales. This is when money starts to flow in, it starts working, and before long, you get some people that become experts in it, where a lot of money is being made in it. Well, this is the stage that competition starts to take notice. They see all these people out there making money with it, and they're like, wow, that's a good idea. Maybe we should try that, right? Then, of course, this leads us to what I call the money train stage. This is where adoption starts happening really big. The competition starts, going into development, trying to recreate and copy what that idea was. And this is a great stage because life is awesome. You've got a lot of sales with a unique product with not a lot of competition. But before long, the competitors start to really catch up. Life is still good in this stage. There's a lot of money to be made, but you start to have some similar products coming into the market, but it's still a really great market to be in. Well, before long, more and more people start to see competitors make money. And this is what launches what I call the shift. And the shift is where the market starts to take a turn for the worst. The money starts drying up over time. And when it first launches, this is when the knockoffs come into play. You get a lot of people that start to see these competitors and these experts making money with this idea. So they start just absolutely knocking it off. This is when the retail market comes in. There's still money to be made in this stage, but the sales starts becoming harder and harder, right? They start making the thing a little bit better and a little bit better over time. And it just starts to get worse and worse, right? Well, then because all these people are coming on the scene, well, you've got high competition and everybody has what you sell. And so that thing, that idea, that concept starts to become commonplace and it becomes a commodity. And the sales start to dry up for this thing because so many people have it, right? It's not easy anymore. And clients have really seen what you have to offer in this stage before. You start to take notice when you start to go and pitch an idea, when you start hearing them say, yeah, so-and-so agency does that, or, oh, I just ran a campaign like that with this company or whatnot. That's when you start to get into the commodity stage. And this is where people really start to freak out and the market takes a turn for the worst in that stage because it becomes a price war, a race to the bottom on price. And this is where the money just really starts drying up. There's always somebody out there willing to do it cheaper than you. And so skepticism starts skyrocketing because more and more people are doing it for cheaper and cheaper, and the product starts to lose the luster and so forth. So that skepticism skyrockets with this. And so it brings you to what I call the pit. This is the worst stage to be in. This is where the money really dries up. Agencies freak out because of it. And everybody starts to have crappy sales with it. Depression ensues and it becomes ineffective, right? And then the cycle starts again with a new idea. What we discovered in our agency is that all agencies are really on this cycle of death and rebirth. But sometimes, depending on the niche that you're in, it actually moves faster than others. It depends on what market you're in and kind of what you're doing. But in our little community of SaaS and agency owners all using our beloved software here, Go High Level, I think we are actually at this stage of getting into what I call the shift. And that's where the market starts to go down and becomes commoditized, right? So why do I actually say this? Why are we saying that we're in a commodity stage? Well, if you haven't realized, you've got competition. More and more agencies are jumping on the agency bandwagon. And, look in the own high level group here. We've got 22,000 members, right? More and more people are starting to adopt high level and start SaaS and so forth. Some of the competitor companies out there, ClickFunnels, are getting into small business as well with Dan Kennedy and so forth. And so I foresee a time where things are going to start to get more and more commoditized in your niches. And so because of that, we got the price wars coming on that initial offer of SaaS. And so what do you actually do about it? How do you combat this? Well, I've got a secret ninja trick here for you. So the first thing you can do is to get ingrained into your clients' businesses with things that the competition won't offer. A lot of the knockoff companies out there that are just jumping on the bandwagon, offering the bare minimum or just starting those cookie cutter copies of the system, they're not going to go the extra mile. They want the easy button and so forth. And so the more value that you bring, the harder it is for them to actually leave you, right? You want to make it hard to leave. This is why I launched products like Rapid Reviews and Site Skeleton, because I like to offer websites with my offerings because it's that sticky thing that keeps them into the business, right? And so how easy is it to just leave a company that offers lead gen? That's a very small thing that a lot of companies out there do. What about the CRM? There's CRMs are a dime a dozen today, right? And so if you are offering as your agency only core features, well, it's pretty easy for clients to actually find a competitor that can do exactly what you do. So you want to add more value to your offering. And that's the very first ninja trick here. If you want a great example of this, look no further than Google and Facebook. They are obsessed with retention and getting usage out of their apps, right? Because they are free services. And so they are absolutely obsessed with retaining customers. And one of the things that they do is they integrate with your daily lives through more than just social media or search engines. They become more than the core. So as far as Google's a search engine, but it also offers Google Drive, Gmail. It also offers docs, spreadsheets, all kinds of these other little apps, Google Maps, right? And so it becomes more than their core offering. Facebook does the same exact thing. They purchase other companies out there that release cool stuff and they integrate it into Facebook. Facebook has things like Marketplace. Marketplace is a really cool feature of Facebook, right? And so they offer more than the core. They're offering more value to their users than what the core offering actually is. Therefore, integrating into their daily lives. Well, if that's a great lesson to actually apply to your agency. You want to offer more than the core. So this brings me to my next ninja trick here, and that's to recognize the shift early. When you start to see that knockoff stage, that commoditization stage, that's where you want to start to pivot. That's where you want to start coming up with that new rebirth stage and launch it then. What this does is, while everybody else is going through these price wars, these commodity stages, and ultimately ending up in the pit, you're going to be starting the rebirth stage during that time. You take this little secret highway that gets you around those bad stages and dumps you out over at the early adoption stage. That's where you're going to be launching that new X factor, that new strategy, that new mechanism, something that's going to get people excited again, and by offering more value, so you can just skip over those bad stages that everybody else is going to go through. So I want to give you a live example, a real life example of what happened at our agency. I'm going to talk about some of the X factors that we had to keep us out of the pit. When we first started, we were kind of in the expert and money train stages. Our first big product that really took off was direct mail. We were doing niche specific direct mail. And during that time, we didn't have a ton of niche specific direct mail companies for auto dealers. And so there were a lot of dealers out there, and we really had this money train stage where for a long time we made really good money on direct mail. There was certainly a lot of companies out there that did direct mail, but not niche specific like us. And so for a long time we rode that money train, and but eventually competition started coming into play. A lot of those companies that were the core companies, you had a lot of sales reps or people that left those companies and started their own because they saw the money that was being made. And certainly we had a lot more competitors jump onto the scene, which of course led to the knockoff stage where they just flat out ripped off our mail pieces, our competitors' mail pieces, and created their own as well. And so before long, you had pretty much everybody doing the same pieces, and the dealers definitely took notice in that. And suddenly it became really a commodity where everybody had the same stuff and there wasn't much difference between it. And so we started battling on price, and there was new people that came to the market that was willing to go for a much cheaper route, which of course led to the price wars and shot us down into the pit. And so that was the first big time we hit the pit, and it really kind of sucked at that time because sales were really, really bad because everybody was doing the same thing. And so really it came down to price and if they liked you or not, right? So we realized that, okay, we got to change something up. We need a new X factor, something that's going to be unique to us, a new mechanism, a new way to sell this thing, a new strategy. So what we did was we launched mail with email and calls. We added an email element to it. We added an outbound call center to set up appointments, and that shot us back up to the expert and money train stages. That we rode that for a while. Email was quickly knocked off. That was something that there was like next to no barrier to entry with. So our competitors, popped that in there really quickly. And so we actually learned our lesson the first time. So we moved the rebirth stage over to kind of the knockoff stage, and we decided that when they started knocking us off, we would just kind of tweak and innovate. And so we added in pearls and DR campaigns, and eventually we started doing digital and driving traffic to the dealers' websites. And another one that came out at a certain point was we decided, hey, instead of just driving traffic and clicks, nothing happens. A sale doesn't happen from a click. And so what we decided to do was to set up appointments on demand. So we created a product that would literally set up appointments for the dealers, which of course that framework became our SaaS offering as well. So we've experienced this process many times before at our agency. It was spread out over years, but this was a big thing. And what we've noticed is that in certain niches, this agency cycle of death and rebirth kind of goes faster than others. And it really depends on the offer. It really depends on the product. It depends on the niche, especially as to how fast this process moves. So the key here is to always be innovating and building new X factors that are specifically unique to you, whether that's a new way to sell it, a new product that you bring on as a part of your system. When you do this, you are hard to knock off. The competition gets very frustrated with you. Clients don't get bored. Products get really good. You've got unique offers, more sales, but most importantly, well, you stay out of the freaking pit, which is amazing. Now, this brings me to the white label SaaS challenge. And, we all love Go High Level, but there's a big fat issue to overcome. Know what it is? Well, it's that the core features are available to everyone. A lot of agencies roll in, they purchase Go High Level, they sell that core system, the integrations, recipes, core templates and lead generation, the social planner, text reviews, things like that. And they think that that's going to be enough. And the reality is they're on that cycle of death and rebirth. And, that's all a commodity. The core features are available to everyone. The CRM, they got that. The funnel builder, yep. Workflows, they got them. Calendar, social planner, text reviews, been there, done that. With SaaS, what's available to you is available to them as well. You got to remember that. The core SaaS is an evergreen commodity. When core features are, even new features are launched, well, guess what? Your competition gets them too with this system. So without these X factors, without something unique, people start looking for the Go High Level source and to replace you. People become clones of each other. And there's a lot of people that are out there customizing dashboards and, to hide Go High Level, and that can help, but really it's a Band-Aid covering up a bullet hole size problem. So does this mean that I think that SaaS is, dead? Am I one of those guys that this method is dead? No, of course not. But it's time to pivot. The core SaaS features, the basic templates, the core integrations, the lead gen workflows, that's all stuff that's going to lead to commodities in your niche. Gotta have those X factors. There's a great quote, don't be another fish in the pond, be an alligator, a different beast altogether. I love this and I live by this because, when I go in to pitch a client, what I want to be unique. When clients compare options, I want them to clearly see that it's not an apples to apples comparison to where they get hit with so much value with my service or SaaS that other folks that hit them up just don't stack up. You're too ingrained. You've got too many X factors where their offers just don't add up compared to yours. You need X factors that are custom to you to separate you from every other option available to them. You got competition. They're going to be looking at your ads. They're going to be looking at what you offer. So you need something that's unique, that stays unique in your offering to stay relevant in your market, things that they can't replicate easy. And so what I recommend that our SaaS agencies do is to build your own custom snapshot for your niche, one that offers unique X factors, more value than just the core offering. And, and you really build that out with really unique X factors that really go the full gamut of what your clients actually need. The problem with that is that building that valuable offer in the past has been pretty hard to accomplish. There are some agencies out there that get on the scene and they get stuck on just building the first lead gen funnel. And so it can be pretty difficult for them to really launch that extremely valuable offer and really build out a full-on snapshot that they really need to make their SaaS extremely valuable. Well, this is why I actually built Anara. Anara is a system that is a local business snapshot. It's basically got all kinds of funnels, templates, workflows that would be perfect for a local business. It helps you offer these unique X factors that are custom to you, because what you do is you take the framework we've got with Anara, you customize it to your niche, and you build your own unique snapshot to you that stays relevant with unique X factors that a lot of other people are not going to be able to offer. They're looking for that easy button, right? Well, with this, there's a lot to Anara. There's a ton of stuff inside it, and I think you guys are going to be pretty pleased when you use this to build out snapshots, because it just makes the process so much easier. It's got templates for everything, workflows for everything, and you guys are going to see that in the demo video upcoming. All right, guys, so that is it for the Cycle of Death video. We're going to be releasing the next video in the series that sheds some new light into what Anara actually is in tomorrow, actually. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next video.